What's up, my nerds? DC here, alongside my wonderful co-host Ketsorin. How's it going, Ketsorin?
Going good, man. How's it going with you?
It's going pretty good. I've got my late night Starbucks coffee here, so because I'm like crazy tired. It's definitely my fault though, because I stayed up too late playing Overwatch last night. So
You
uh,
fucking nerd.
I know I really am. But the lucky thing is they were out of coffee at this location at the time, but it was at a Kroger. So I was like, they're like, go shop, we'll brew more. And I was like, okay. And they didn't even make me pay for it, and they gave me a bigger size than I even ordered. So
That's a weird thing for you go to Starbucks and they're out of coffee when it's a coffee place. That's a weird thing for me to wrap my head around.
right.
Well, I'm drinking an undisclosed beer.
Mm, the best kind of beer. Other than
The best kind of beer.
the only other kind that's better is free beer.
That's true. You can't be too picky on that.
Free beer is the best kind of beer for sure. So we've got a lot to get to today. Namely, we have a special guest on the second half of our show, Cosplay Bay. So everyone be looking out for her. It's going to be really fun having her on. I kind of got to know her a little bit. We go to kind of the same cons together. We're like we live in the same area of the state ish, like close enough to where we attend a lot of the same comic conventions. So
Okay.
she's done a lot of cool art and cosplay stuff like that. So yes, coffee is good. Um, coffee is very good. I'm kind of obsessed. So I'm excited to get to her. So, but let's go ahead and get started. We missed last week. I had a thing come up last second where I couldn't miss it, and we just weren't really, apt yet for you to take on the show by yourself. But in future scenarios, that is actually a possibility here. So why don't we
Sure,
get
sure.
started with what you want to talk about with the D&D campaign trailer? I know you're super excited for that.
Uh, would you mind pulling it up if that's okay? Just to no audio is needed because it's all music based.
For sure.
Um, so basically, Dragonlance is coming to D&D. It is going to be a playable campaign, and it is going to be levels 1 through 10. And it is going to take us through the world of what Kryn and Tanis and what's his name? Flint experience. We're going to experience the white robes, the red robes. We're going to experience dragons, probably. Most likely, we're going to experience all of that. And so it's a really, really cool thing that's happening in D&D, the fact that it was released.
I've
Um,
got it going now, so that
cool.
folks can see it.
Awesome. When it's done, let me know. And I have the book recommendation, of course, ready.
Okay.
Um, So it's just something to look forward to. This is a 5E. I'm pretty sure it's a 5E module.
Yeah, I
And
think I did see that. Yeah.
yeah. And as we know, D&D, well, Wizards of the Coast are working on one D&D or yeah, one D&D. So that is going to be like the sixth module in D&D. Right now, it's just in kind of a beta playtest mode where everybody's getting to look on. I actually think it's closed now. So basically, players got in, said, "Hey, this sucks. This doesn't suck." They're going to take the feedback. They're going to work it over, and we're going into a next phase of a play style, which would be the sixth edition, but it's going to be one D&D. So having Dragonlance come out with 5E, I have questions on is it going to be compatible? Are they planning on making it compatible with not only 5th edition, but are they going to make it compatible with 1D&D? And D? And if not, I'm sure somehow if they're trying to streamline 1D&D between 5E and 1D&D, it should be, playable between both.
Well, I hope
That being
so.
said,
I hope
I
so.
mean, yeah, I hope it's not that too much. I hope it's not too much of a crossover for us to move it over. Similar with like Tyranny of Dragons or Descent into Avarice, whatever it is that we're playing as a campaign. So if you guys haven't been um,
Ooh.
into it or nerding out on this, Dragons of Autumn Twilight is the first series into like a 12-part series for Dragonlance. And it's good. It's a quick read. It's an easy read, and it gets better and better as you go. So this is the first book if you are interested. Um, we got Dakota saying,
I
"Hey,
know.
Destin."
Sup, Dakota? Sup? What's up, boy? Dragons of Winter
uh,
Night, says your friend. What's his name again? I always forget his name. John? Is that right?
John.
John,
Hi,
yeah.
John.
Hi, John. The
Welcome
name
back.
the name throws me off because I'm like, that looks familiar, but
It's the one who done it. Oh, CJ's here.
oh,
You
hello.
guys. So
First time chat.
shout out to two of my online players. As a matter of fact, my two online players.
That's what's up.
Um, CJ and John are my two online players, and we got CJ rejoining the campaign here. And so, thanks for joining, guys. I appreciate it.
I don't think there's anyone here that I play D&D with, unfortunately, but we play 5e. We've been playing um, a Giants campaign.
Ooh,
It's been a lot of fun.
nice.
I kind of, without even knowing it was a Giants campaign, it's really funny. I made my character. It's a, what's it called? A berserking. Uh, oh my,
Barbarian.
barbarian. Thank you. It's a barbarian. I've got like, for some reason when I talk about it, I have D2 on the brain because I play a barbarian right now in D2R. So
A Titan.
yeah. So anyway, I play a barb. And I've got it to where it's like he's got a history with giants in the past with like being friends with them. So it's really funny whenever I try to like, make conversations with a giant and try to come up with like stories of the past and stuff like that. Where I've like,
You there. I remember you.
yeah, yeah. So it's been fun though.
That-
But yeah,
That's
I hope
hilarious.
they integrate it with 5e. Yes, I am a fucking nerd, as it turns out. Hence the name. Um,
You're
but
on the right channel.
yeah, it's absolutely true. Oh, but yeah. I hope the dragon stuff seems really interesting to me. I feel like it's a good time for them to release that promo too, with like House of Dragon getting ready to end.
Yeah,
So
it's the season of the dragons.
it is. It does seem like stuff like this is cyclical a little bit. Like I remember this was like 2 years ago, like right during the pandemic. It seemed like everything was like Viking related, out of nowhere. There was that one like Viking video game everyone was playing. Forgot what it was called, Valdheim or something like that. And then Kaldheim, the Magic set, came out at that time. And there was another thing too. And it just felt like everything was Viking related. Um,
Um, well, Dakota says Valhalla, and
oh yeah, Assassin's
I
Creed
have
Valhalla. Yeah.
I have no idea about the Viking stuff. But you know what? Here's another story about my brother. He got into Viking stuff. So he did like this really cute little braid on his hair because he has long hair like me.
Yeah.
And I got him a axe,
And
and that's
my
it. That's the
axe.
whole story. That's it.
All right. Well, sweet. Moving on.
Vikings do be pretty bussin',
They do be
CJ.
pretty bussin'. So, FYI, too, I am going to try to make this into a podcast, too, for anyone that wants to watch it, like, on the go. Like, they're not able to watch the video or anything like that on YouTube. I am trying to set up a stream through RSS to try to get a
Cool.
podcast going. So we'll see if that works out. I've done it a few times before, so hopefully my memory banks are good enough to get it going. So I'm gonna try to like keep that in mind. So like when we have like video and stuff going on screen, I'm gonna try to explain what's happening instead of just here watch
That's
this
fine by me.
video.
In my opinion, it's
Listener?
look this up. Yeah.
Listener, watch this
Look,
video.
look it
Imagine
up as we talk about it. And by the way, you know our voices because there's only two people right now, so you're good.
hey, it's Banana Dude, says Josh. What's up, Josh? Good to see you in here, buddy. So
Oh my
yeah, you want to
gosh.
move on? We got plenty to talk about, like I said. So
Yeah, let's do it.
Werewolf by Night. How about that? I haven't watched it yet, but I know you really liked it, right?
Oh my God, yeah. So, right now I'm not really too much in the Marvel scene. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if it's burnt out or if I'm just not interested in general. I mean, I like it. I watch the trailers. I'm not up to date with a lot of the TV shows, but I was on Disney Plus, of course,
Of
browsing,
course.
and it was Werewolf by Night, and I was like, this looks cute. I think that the thumbnail was basically like black and white, and it was like less than an hour. I think it was like 53 minutes. So I click it, and it started off a little slow, but it jumped in right away.
Okay.
And it was good. And so for all of the horror fans out there, the ones who don't like spooky stuff and like um just classic Halloween vibe, it is perfect. It has a lycanthrope trope.
Perfect, huh?
It has the black and white. It has the old
Strong words.
style. It has the black and white vibe. It has a strong narrative that begins pushing right as it needs to. Right when you feel that it starts to get boring, it's boom, let's go. And after that,
Okay.
it's one, let's go. And every domino is knocked down to make this story complete in a matter of an hour. So for
Okay.
anyone out there wanting to watch a Halloween movie, absolutely take this on. Less than an hour. You can watch it going to bed. It's not scary. Um, there's partial gore, but it's not like over the top nowadays. Like every if it's scary, it's gory. That's how I feel about
Yeah.
most like modern day movies now.
Yeah.
Gory
It's that
equals scary.
it's that shock factor, right? Like
Yeah.
let's get
So
creative. Let's not just be like, here's a limb cut off. Like that's boring after a while.
yeah. It's great. It's reminiscent. It's black and white. It's perfect. It's one of the best
Wow.
movies or like short films that I've seen in a long time.
Spoiler
So,
alert, is Elsa Bloodstone in it? That's all I need to know.
um, yes,
Okay, I thought I saw that she was.
because I'm pretty sure I don't know too much about this, but I think that Werewolf by Night is indeed a Marvel comic.
Yeah,
It's not
it is.
just
It is.
so I'm fairly certain. It's been like 2 weeks, I think. So I watched it like basically as soon as it came out, so I think it's been like 2 weeks.
Well, I do
Um,
plan to watch it before our next show, and I'll tell everyone why here in just a minute. But quickly, Josh said it very quickly became one of his favorite Marvel projects, regardless of impact on MCU, and like that's strong. But like to me, that's what I love about Marvel is the fact that, like comics wise, I don't need the big continuity stuff, even though they do that stuff in the background. I love that they have all these like pockets of like random things that occur, like like side characters and everything like that that don't necessarily need to be attached to the overarching story. They can just kind of do their own thing. Like the Runaways was a good example of that. Really great self-contained story. Like didn't have to be connected really to the rest of the Marvel universe. Like it just kind of was like their own thing. And
yeah.
uh, I want more of that for the MCU. I want more of these little stories. Like, did you watch She-Hulk?
Yes, actually, I did.
So it just finished, and while it does like connect to continuity a little bit and stuff like that, it kind of did its own thing, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I felt like I mean there was like drops, of like, oh well, no spoilers.
sure.
She could be an Avenger. And there was drops on what could be what's happening in the time frame of what's happening there.
And they
But
brought on
ultimately it did feel like its own show at that
yeah, and they
point.
brought on cameos from other stuff too, like other
Yeah.
Marvel stuff. But like I just felt like it was a fun show, and like people were complaining about that show. I can monologue about this all day, and I'll be quick about it. But people complained a lot about that show, and like a bunch of the tropes and stuff like that. But like to me, it just like it had fun with itself. Like I love the actress, the main character that played Jen. I think she is phenomenal, and I want to see more of her and more stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
I know like she was in a big thing. I think Orphan Black, is that right? Uh, I
I
don't
don't
remember
think I
the
watched Orphan
I
Black.
don't
Yeah.
remember the name of the show. Maybe I'm wrong about the name of the show. Someone in the chat vet that. Help me out. The show that she was like that she
Somebody
started.
Google for us.
Yeah. So, trying to get the chat going here.
Well, let me jump back real fast while you're thinking about that. To CJ, it does have a you said it gets to look more modernized in future projects. It does. Like, it does take on that modernized feel. It's not black and white, like everything's candles. It's not black and white where everything's old and antique and like Victorian. It takes on an actual modernized version of Werewolf by Night or whatever it was called. So it's good. Check it out.
John enjoyed She-Hulk as well. I just feel like I was right about the Orphan Black, by the way. Says Josh, and I looked it up, and I was correct. So pulled that out of the memory banks. Thank you, Coffee, as well, for helping me remember. I feel like we need to have like a show about Marvel projects, like during a slow news week, and like talk about like the future of Marvel projects and stuff like that. And like,
sure,
I think we should do that, especially because you used to be bigger into the comic books, and I know you're kind of out of it right now. But you know, as someone who still actively reads the comics, and like someone who has, both of us who have read past project comics, you know, like I think we should talk about that. I think we should have a show about that. I think it's a good idea.
I think that for a guest, we should have my mom as my guest because she's watched more Marvel stuff than I have. At this point, she watched them all chronologically.
Okay.
And then all the shows, and so she's way more up to date. Yeah, she's in it.
I love it.
She went like this, and then she went. So.
I love your mom. I just want to hang out with your mom. She's the coolest.
She is a cool lady.
Like, I've talked with her a few times. I just really like her.
Yeah, she's one of my players in my game. It's great. It's
D&D?
It's working out. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. That's so cool. That's so incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine my mom ever doing anything like that. She would probably just melt.
You know, I was so scared when I said, "Do you want to try D&D?" And she was like, "Well, I don't get it." And I was like, "I'll walk you through it. It's fine. I got you." And she dresses up now. Like she dresses up for the sessions. She makes little props.
Your mother, I tell you, she half-asses nothing.
Nope. Everything in our life, like even
whole ass.
She
whole
goes,
ass.
She goes
big
in
ass.
It. John said, D&D mom is awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
She is. Let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah,
we can talk about my mom forever.
Yeah, for sure.
But not tonight.
Well, so real quick before we move on, we got two more things we want to talk about before we're gonna bring Cosplay Bay on. But speaking of guests, you said guests, and I said I was gonna watch Werewolf by Night before our next show. So our next show is going to be a special edition Halloween show. We're going to talk all about Halloween stuff and horror and all that. Like, if we need to cover any big news stuff, we can do that, like, you know, first. But primarily we're going to focus on Halloween and horror and that kind of stuff. We're going to have another guest next week. As many of you know, Chris Coron. He's going to come on the show, and we're going to talk horror movies and all sorts of Halloween stuff and all that. So I'm going to watch Werewolf by Night before then because I'm sure he's seen it, knowing him.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So, yeah, the announcement that's our next guest is Chris Coron, who has the Talk Nerdy to Me podcast. So, yeah. So let's move on. Let's talk about that Avatar film, The Last Airbender.
Yes. So 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's
2024.
Right. Avatar Gang, like Aang, but Gang.
Yeah.
Is going to be released as a movie, and the creators of the Doctor Strange What If, that little short piece that they did, whatever team it was, I don't know their name at the moment. I meant to pull it up.
That
Honestly,
studio.
I didn't.
That studio, right?
That studio. I think they're Australian.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think.
Somebody in the chat, verify for me, quick.
Vet it. Do
it.
Chat. Vet
it. Fact check. They're going to be working on the Avatar: The Last Airbender Gang film, and I'm pretty sure it's a film based on when they are grown-ups. So I'm I'm really looking forward to this.
I am
Like,
too.
I really loved Avatar: The Last Airbender. I loved Korra. I love not Korra. Sokka. I loved Aang. Um,
Well,
I loved them. Toph. I mean,
mhm.
I loved them. So I haven't seen. This is one of the things where I haven't seen the Doctor Strange What If. I haven't seen any of the What If stuff, but apparently the Doctor Strange What If like little series was good, or that show was good. And
John, real
so
quick, sorry to interrupt, but John, we went to vet that what studio is making the Gang movie, the Avatar Gang. So it's like a play on words. It's Aang, but with a G.
yeah,
Which studio? We know that it's the studio behind the Doctor Strange What If, which is so cool that like they did so well with that it spiraled into like a movie and everything, right? I mean, like they used all that stuff for
yeah.
the Doctor Strange movie, the most recent one, the Multiverse of Madness. So really cool to see that studio take off because they did a great job with that project.
Yeah. So if somebody can check that for us, we'll come back to it. But that's something that because I'm an Avatar: The Last Airbender
I mean,
fan.
objectively, that show is one of the best shows ever made. Like just straight up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Like consistency, animation, story arc, like challenging narratives. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. I tried to watch Korra, but I got so burnt out of the tournament stuff that like I just stopped watching it. I need to go back and finish it though, because I heard it gets like it really focuses on the Avatar stuff after the tournament stuff ends. So,
I've I have watched Avatar: The Last Airbender twice.
Josh, it's because it's
Korra,
the
the
best
legend,
episode of it.
the Legend of Korra, I watched once and like kind of a half.
Yeah.
It's good. The animation is good. The story is good. It does get slow, but also it's kind of like you're so strong. Why do you lack this confidence? And so
Hmm.
like it feels like two different narratives are fighting each other sometimes.
Right.
And ultimately it is good. The ending is good for the most part, but it's just like you're so strong. The core is like I'm so strong. I'm not so strong. I'm so strong, and it's just so combative with her that it gets tumultuous.
Okay. Yeah. So a couple of people in the chat saying they've never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, the
Josh,
show. Josh and Steven, you should both immediately after the show go start it. Like, I'm not kidding. You will not regret it. I promise you, it's some of the best media ever created. That
yeah,
story is incredible. Someone who actually, if you've ever watched Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars: The Clone Wars, um, the creator of those shows, his name escapes me right now because dad brain, but and I love him too. That's the sad part. I just cannot think of his name, but he actually helped with some of the illustrations on that show and like some of the character models and all that. So
Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni, thank you. Yes, and Dave Filoni we trust. Yeah, he also obviously co-created The Mandalorian. Dave Filoni did with Jon Favreau. But yeah, he helped like draw and like make the some of the character models for Avatar: The Last Airbender. So like everything that dude touches turns to gold. Let's just say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I've seen Clone Wars. I haven't seen all of Rebels. I've seen bits and pieces,
Rebels
but
in the end, Rebels is better than Clone Wars, and Clone Wars is perfect. But like Rebels is like, man, talk about hitting you in the freaking feels. My God, some of the deepest, heaviest shit I have ever watched. I'm not even kidding.
okay. Well, well, I guess that's on my list to eventually at a later time challenge.
Yeah, you should do that. All right. One last thing before we get to Cosplay Bay, and this will actually kind of lead us into some couple things we're going to talk to her about. But so let's talk about some of these projects that DC has come out with. DC Comics has come out with recently.
Okay.
Gotham Knights, and then the Black Adam movie that just came out yesterday, and then Gotham Knights came out yesterday as well, or today, right? I can't remember, one of those.
Okay, so if you're talking about the Gotham Knights trailer,
Video game.
that's
The
the
video game
we
came out,
had
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, I don't think it's out, but we had little sneak peek like
Oh,
teaser trailers, and the official trailer came out like 6, 7 days ago.
Yeah.
Um, so in regards to that, I'm looking forward to it. I am. I'm not a huge Batman fan. That being said,
So it came
I
out
am
today.
looking.
Gotham Knights came out today. The
Oh,
video
the
game.
game itself came out today
Yes.
on Xbox and PS and anything else.
Yeah, I don't know, but I had my concerns anyway with it. The combat did not really look super appealing to me. Um, but the big problem I had with it was you're on current gen consoles, but you're locking it at 30 frames per second. How can you have a fighting game like a beat 'em up that locks in at 30 frames per second on current gen? Like that's just terrible, and it's gonna look choppy. Like
Okay. Um, I am learning, so everybody can make fun of me here,
okay,
but I am learning like OBS. I am learning GIMP. I am learning all of this frames per second. Like
nerd
I
baptism.
understand, right? I'm learning this stuff as I go. So what do you mean by for those like me?
Yeah.
What do you mean by 30 frames per second on a current generation console? Like
So
what would that look like compared to something else? What would
so
that look at like at 60 frames?
a lot of games, even in past gens, were um, 1080p but 60 frames per second. Just meaning that the screen refreshes at 60 frames per second. Meaning that like that's how many frames can go on the screen at the same time without looking sloppy or jumbled or screen tearing would occur. Refresh rates of TVs really help with that sort of stuff too, but that's a deeper subject. The point is, it's only outputting 30 frames per second, so you could have the world's best TV at the best refresh rate, and it's still going to look choppy. It's still going to look not smooth. 60 frames per second is like the gold standard. Like if you can hit 60 frames per second, like more is better, obviously. Like I game on my PC, I have a really good graphics card. I hit like 200 frames per second on Overwatch 2. Like that's just
Okay.
which means like everything looks like super smooth. Like there's no stuttering, no jitteriness, nothing like that. So, the whole point of having this next gen of consoles with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, I don't even know the moniker of the new Xbox, Xbox One X, is that
Xbox X and Xbox S.
Xbox X? It's just called Xbox X.
Yeah, yeah, Xbox X. Somebody has an Xbox X. So I'm pretty sure it's Xbox
Series X.
S Series X.
So John
Whatever. It's the
John
same thing.
also John was also talking Xbox Series X. Okay. So it's Xbox Series X. Okay.
Xbox
And
Series.
John said it did come out for PS5 and Xbox Series X/S. So the fact that it's only at 30 frames per second on these current gen consoles that are supposed to output 60 frames per second, 4K 60 frames per second, right?
Okay.
Like that's terrible. Like if you're not going to be able to output the 4K at 60 frames, why not scale it back to 2K and have it at 60 frames per second? Because it's going to look a lot better at 2K running at 2K at 60 frames per second than it would at 4K at 30 frames per second. It's just going to look terrible. I'm telling you. Like it's not going to look fun. Like it's
Well, I
not
mean,
going to be smooth at
I
all.
mean, oh, so it did come out today. So I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
try to argue. I was gonna try to do like a devil's advocate or like argue on their behalf,
Well,
but I
take
can't.
this
So
with a
never mind.
grain of salt. Take this with a grain of salt. Metacritic
You know
gave it
what?
like a 6 out of 10, and IGN gave it a 5 out of 10. So Metacritic is just like, a culmination of all reviews scores,
Okay.
and they got a 6 out of 10 on there, and IGN gave it a 5. Like, the concept of the game is incredible, in my opinion. Like, I love the idea of it, but, like, I just felt like they didn't meet the standards of today's game consoles, and it's showing. And like I don't think they really worked hard enough on the combat system. Like if you're gonna have a beat 'em up, that needs to be your focus, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't seen the actual gameplay of it. I'm sure that's going to be coming out probably within the next week, of course, if it released today. But I'm getting what was it called? Dark Knight vibes? No, got the Batman game that I played twice.
Oh yeah, isn't it from one of the same
Gotham Knight,
studios?
Gotham Knight,
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight, where you have a series of commands via buttons and combinations. I'm getting the same vibe. I
Yeah,
don't know if
I
it's the
agree.
same creator.
I think it's the same
Um,
studio, right?
I no idea. It's the same universe as the Arkham games.
Yeah.
So then, thank
PC
you,
is
CJ.
best. PC is best platform, Steven. For sure.
We can have a whole conversation about that
We
later.
can.
But uh, I really loved those games, and so I'm looking forward to not just being Batman. I
For sure.
personally loved Nightwing. I think that Robin, if it's Damian and it looks like Damian, he's a little bitch. Um, so I'm not looking forward to playing him if I have to, but I am looking forward to playing Batgirl. I am looking forward to playing Nightwing. And I am looking forward to playing what's his face, Red Hood,
Yeah, for sure.
because I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm probably not going to get this game anytime soon. I am so busy with this and with D&D and with the
Yeah.
job. So
Try
so
having
I
try having two kids and a puppy to take care of.
I have two dogs and my and my whole party to take care of.
uh, you are a DM. I'll give you a slight pass. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick break so we can pull Cosplay Bay on here. So
Cool.
everyone, take like 2 or 3 minutes. Go grab a drink. Go go piss. Whatever you gotta do, and we will be right back. Here we are. Hold on, I gotta fix the. Oops. It's okay.
We're live. Technical difficulties. Hold on, guys.
We are live. I just have to like fix the. Oh, daggone it! Let me remember how to do this.
Well, while he's working on that, Jen,
Here, look, I'm
Yeah.
fixing it. I'm fixing it.
um,
Look at me. I'm an architect. Look at that.
he's doing the things. So
I fixed
we were
it.
just talking about DC, the Gotham Knights trailer.
Mhm.
And do you have a favorite Bat character? Is it Batman? Is it Batgirl? Is it Nightwing? Who is it?
So so this is gonna sound very like unnerdy of me, but I'm not really into the DC universe as much as I am the Marvel universe. I know I'm a little biased,
Okay.
but
Hey.
but I do. So they haven't made a movie of her yet outside of like that. Maybe like the second Batman film back in like the mid '90s. But Poison Ivy's always been a big
Ooh,
like +1 for me. So
Poison
I would-
Ivy is the shit.
she
yeah,
is.
I'm always a fan of the villains though for some reason. So.
Well, that's because DC villains are like really freaking cool.
They
So,
make more
Yes.
sense.
yeah, they do.
They actually have a case.
Yeah.
More backstreet.
Yep.
Hey, I see you got the late night Starbucks too. What up?
Oh yeah, well I have that, and then I have sorry, I got Botox a few days ago, and like it still drips down my mouth. Oh. But I have Starbucks, and I have it like a an undisclosed drink here.
Oh.
That's what I said.
Did I see some Demon Slayer on that?
Yep.
Yeah. Did I see some
But-
Demon Slayer on that cup?
No,
Oh, I thought I saw.
it's Toga
Oh, a toga. Gotcha.
from My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but best girl.
I thought I
All
saw
right,
everyone.
Zenitsu. I thought I saw Zenitsu for a second. I was like, damn, hell yeah.
Real fast, I'm going to do the introduction for officially for you. Um, this is Jen. Her tag is cosplay bay. She is a cosplayer that we know for fun. I'm gonna give it away to Dustin. You start with the questions. Jen, you hop in whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. So, yeah, well, basically, Jen and I kind of crossed paths a few times at conventions, and like I was like, "Hey, can I get your picture in some of her cosplays?" And it just so happened that I had taken her picture a couple times before, and I didn't even realize it until like I was like, "Oh shit, that's Cosplay Bay."
Master of disguise here.
Yeah. So I really like your work, and you have one cosplay coming up in particular. I'm super excited about. Hopefully, you're still working on it. The Metroid Samus
Yes.
cosplay.
Oh shit!
So yeah, so I'm working on like multiple giant builds right now. Um, just I think that's where I flourish most. So I have Metroid, and then I have a Kieran cosplay from Monster Hunter World because I love that whole gaming series. Um, and then I am doing Aisha Clan from Outlaw Star.
Oh hell yeah!
Um,
That is like the
and
most underrated anime ever. I swear to God.
I kind of wish they had made like a live action instead
Yeah,
of Cowboy Bebop.
yeah.
But obviously, I'm glad they didn't because that one didn't turn out super
Justin,
great. But
would you mind throwing up some pictures? The last anime that you mentioned, I don't know what
Uh,
you're talking about, so I would really like to see this. And I don't know if
yes,
what
other viewers are savvy with it. So
Outlaw
the first
Star?
two I
Yeah.
know, but the third one I was like, it sounds cool.
I
Here,
believe it came. I believe it was like introduced to America in like the late '80s. I think maybe
early,
early
early,
'90s.
early '90s. Because I remember when it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Here, I'm gonna play a trailer for it just here. But you keep talking.
Hmm.
Well, I'll put it up for folks. Ah, there we go. Seizure warning. But yeah, it's like it isn't kind of
It's
in that same
yeah,
vein
it's
as
what
Cowboy
it is.
Bebop, for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was in that same like generic area where like everyone's like all about space and same Gundam time frame as well. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
but
Very cool.
I really love this anime. Highly recommend to anyone that loves that style. Um, so yeah, that's awesome.
we're cutting out. We're back.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, what? So how did you even get into cosplay to begin with? I know that's a common question, but I always feel like that it's everyone has their own like reason. So
So, believe it or not, I grew up very much like a basic white girl. Uh, as far as like that
There's
whole,
nothing wrong
like
with that.
Starbucks, I have my Uggs on right now, all that fun stuff. Um, but in 2018, I believe, I was sitting on the couch after a hard day of work at the hospital, and I was like, yeah, like I came across these videos on TikTok,
yeah,
no less, of cosplayers. And I was like, well, that looks like fun. Like, I feel like that I would like to be a part of that because I grew up watching anime as a closeted nerd. So,
yeah,
but yeah, and I was like, well, let me try to do, Bulma from Dragon Ball. Because I love her. I've always loved her. Strong girl persona kind of thing.
yeah,
But yeah, so I just did her like little pink dress with Bulma written across it in the blue wig, but turned out great. And I was like, yeah, I feel like I can, yeah, this is fun.
yeah.
This is like where like I feel comfortable. So,
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice.
as well as like seeing other people in their like niche and just like loving life. So,
So
I'm
it's
all about it.
funny you mentioned about the closet nerd thing. Someone I work with is a huge anime fan, and it seems to be in particular with anime. And I think maybe it's our generation where we like grew up watching the cartoons, the anime, like on Toonami and stuff like that. But like, no one thought they could like talk about it with their friends, like growing up, or like when they're in high school or college, and like it was always this thing that was like you kind of kept to yourself. And now anime is like the most mainstream possible. Like it is like honestly I'd say it's the number one thing in pop culture right now.
Oh, it for sure is. I think we were ridiculed as kids if we were to come out and say, "Oh yeah, well, like I saw the newest Pokemon episode or the
Yeah.
Digimon episode," and I just think that probably made a lot of people shy back away. But we also grew up in the generation where bullying was more like face to face. I think we were like the last generation
Yeah,
where bullying was like face to face.
for sure.
So I think that made it a little more real. Not that online bullying is not real, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that we were all pretty much about approximate the same age, at least, in high school, middle school. For me, with the bullying stuff, anime was so niche at the time that the only thing I particularly remember in high school, if you watched anime, it meant that you ran like the Naruto run
Naruto.
you know, and that was anime. Like if you
Mhm.
watched anime, that meant that you did that run.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was so frowned upon because
Well,
honestly, like obviously it's a good genre. It has great, incredible story arcs. It can bring out the best cosplayers, right?
for
It can
sure.
bring out confidence and everything. So I don't really know why at the time it was so frowned upon.
Yeah.
Um,
Real quick, Josh. By the way, Outlaw Star is on Crunchyroll if you have it, so you can watch it there. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's funny you mentioned about Naruto as well because I wore a Naruto hoodie today to work because it's Casual Friday,
no.
and I got like 2 compliments at work, and then I go out to the stores today, and there's like kids that are in high school working at Kroger, and they are complimenting me on my hoodie, and I was like, that's how you know. Like if the young kids are like,
Wow.
I love anime, and they're open about it, like that's how you know, like that it's
Wow.
popular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's just crazy. If I would have worn that, like, in high school, I would have been called, like, an idiot. Well, way worse than that, but I can't say those things anymore.
I still
So, so Jenna, I have a question for you. With your cosplaying, do you like to take on the persona of what you're cosplaying, or do you just kind of like keep your own attitude and then like mix? Like, tell me what that looks like, what that feels like.
Um, for me, it's not so much like portraying the character as much as like portraying the aesthetic of a character. So like if I'm like running a booth or something, I'm probably not going to act like the character. The only time you'll see me remotely be the character would be in a photo shoot situation, which I haven't done many of those. But someone asks for a picture or something, then I'll obviously pose or something similar to how the character would. But I'm the worst when it comes to acting. So you probably don't want to see me act on anything.
I
The
will
worst
Do
at
you?
charades.
I will say, like, with your Hanjas from Attack on Titan cosplay you did,
Yes.
like, some of the photos you took of that, I felt like you had a lot of the facial expressions down pat for Hanjas. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think it helps having like a prominent nose. I think that might help a little bit. But no, but yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of worked on her some, but not real. I don't know. It's like a weird. It's like an emotional connection with some characters you find. I think, and you're like, yeah, like I feel like I could act like a certain AOT character, as opposed to like I don't think I could act like All Might or or like Jean Starwind or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So
Well, how could
So
that'd be a
is
weird
that
one to act like
basically
anyway.
is that basically what you go for is something that you can relate to more with, or is it more just aesthetics? Is it something that you or do you cosplay characters that you can really relate to, or the aesthetics of something that you feel you can attain? Or tell me about that, and like what was your most challenging cosplay with that?
that's a good question. So obviously, so far I've cosplayed a few questionable women who have like questionable morals, as most anime women do. Um, but I think the one that's been most off-putting as far as like public reaction goes would be Bulma, actually, surprisingly enough.
Huh.
Because I don't know why,
Justin,
but for some
can
reason
you pull
people
up a
like,
picture?
Oh,
huh?
you want
Sorry.
her
Yeah.
Bulma cosplay? Because I think we can pull that up too.
Her picture, or just a picture while we're talking. Like you keep talking, girl. He
Um,
needs to be pulling up the pictures.
We need a
but
producer.
it's so weird because like people, I feel like for some reason sexualize like the absolute crap out of characters. Even though like I guess Bulma may or may I don't know, she might be a little bit in this like last season of Dragon Ball, what Super or something. But
I think she was more
absolutely.
sexualized in like in OG Dragon Ball a little bit
Yes,
more, and like they really toned it out in DBZ.
they did. See, I've seen DBZ and I've seen just a bit of like GT, but I haven't seen anything past
Well,
that. But
GT's not even canon, so don't worry about that.
good.
So that was your most, I guess, feeling like the controversial feeling. But how did you feel building it, and how did you feel like actually portraying that cosplay?
So I loved it. It was fun. So once again, it's like you get different reactions from different people. Obviously, like the little girls. There's this one time I dressed up as Toga with like, and I built like the whole scarf. You know, this like scarf thing she's wearing.
Okay.
I built it from foam. It's a huge, heavy piece that sits on like your shoulders. And I couldn't see anything from like eye line down. And I was up at this one booth talking to this, I think he was a comic book artist. And I felt this like small tug on my skirt. And I looked down, this little girl was dressed up as Toga, and she was just so cute. She was just looking up at me with these like big baby elephant eyes. I was like, oh my God.
So there's Jen as Bulma, by the way.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
But so I really like the kids' point of view. So they're all like super well, received and receptive. It's usually like the adult, dare I say, men. That I'm not one or the other.
Men are trash for sure.
Listen, we're not getting into the gender. It is about your feelings. It is about what you feel, and we're asking you. So you don't need don't feel like you gotta question yourself.
As a dude who's been to a ton of cons, like I have seen how dudes act at cons, and it is despicable in some cases. So yeah, yeah.
It's wild. And then so I was dressed up as that Monster Hunter cosplay at LexCon recently, and this old man stepped up to the table and he was like, "You know what they need to call this?" I was like, I don't know, like what? And he's like, "A freak show." I was like, "Whoa,
okay,
easy. Just keep walking." Like, why do you feel the need to step up and tell me that?
That you could be like, "Honey, that's a wine, not my name."
Like, there's not enough anything in my system to handle what you just said.
That cosplay you did was incredible. Here, I'm gonna pull it up. So let me. You 3D print some of your stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend that does it.
Okay.
And I commission him. But yeah.
Sweet.
I don't have a printer yet, but.
Gotcha.
Very cool.
So on this cosplay, the mask is 3D printed, and then everything else is foam, handmade from like the neck down.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me bring it back up.
Yeah, please. Yeah, bring it back up so I can. I took a look at it and it looks fantastic.
It was
but I want to take a better look at the
Well, see, I
printing.
couldn't see her face there when I took the picture. I just saw it. I didn't even know she had a booth at the con. She was at a booth that she had, and
yeah.
You can see some of her art back there too, by the way.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Let me bring this up.
Yeah, so I took this picture.
That looks fantastic.
And then
Thank you.
I took the picture, and then I think she liked the photo, and I posted it, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's Jen."
Yeah, that looks freaking sweet, dude.
Yeah, incredible.
Like honestly, like jokingly aside, like I really do have to do the whole thing with that, but it really does look good. I love it.
It's not quite done yet. I just kind of worn it and was kind of like half-assed the thing, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Just the arm mechanism alone is like, holy shit, good. So.
This one is a more cliche question, but what do you? Okay, so you said that you're working on Samus. You said that you're working on 2 others. What is the next big project? What is something that you're aspiring to? Like the biggest thing that you have in your mind right now?
Oh my gosh. Right now it's Samus.
Samus?
Rightfully so.
I'm trying to think too far forward in the future, but she is going to be one of the biggest projects I've done thus far. I haven't been doing this long, but I know from what I've built so far, which is not much, but it's taken a lot of like trial and error for a lot of it. Mm-hmm. In particular, the helmet is I think I'm on like my 6th model of that, so I have to put it away for just a little bit, and because I just get all over the place. And I would get beside myself and I get like frustrated, and then I would go through the different the emotions, the emotional turmoil
Right.
that comes with cosplay. But
So
How
whenever
many
she
hours?
does, so whenever she does make it, by the way, I plan to do a photo shoot with her. So I'll have all sorts of pictures out for that whenever it happens.
I
So
I would love seeing that. Jen, I'm not in your area, but I'm gonna be rooting for you.
I love it.
I forgot the question I was gonna ask.
sorry, I'm bad at interrupting people.
Let me, yeah. Let me look because I did have a set of questions just in case. Um, there we go. What would you say is the hardest thing about cosplaying, and in tandem with that, for somebody who wants to cosplay, where would you advise them to begin? For example, um, I like to dress up as some characters, but I am not going as far as like heavy makeup. I'm not going as far as like making my own stuff. So where would you advise somebody who wants to get into it? Where would you go with it?
I would say start out in your closet. Because there's a lot of characters that you can cosplay straight from your closet that I think could very easily be done. Yeah. If you were looking to get like more into like the more hands-on like crafty things, like build your own stuff, I say start with like a small prop and just kind of build that, kind of think about it before you go like all in. But yeah, but other than that, I don't think that buying anything would be a bad place to start either. Amazon, always a safe bet. There's even places like there's like multiple costume websites you can go to. I know some are a little iffy on the
Spirit
PC.
Halloween.
Yeah, that's a good place. Spirit, yeah, Halloween Express. I mean, especially this time of year.
Isn't there
just raid those stores.
I think I've seen before. There's an Etsy shop that it's called like Cosplay Pro Designs or some shit like that, and they'll just like custom do cosplays for you. Like apparently they're really good, but I mean you pay for it, but I mean you really pay for it. But I mean if you got the cash, do it. If you really want to get into it.
Why not?
AJ, John, my mom, who's a player, a Halloween show is coming up for D&D. Like, sorry.
No, you're fine. But yeah, so I'd start out there. Yeah, did I answer all the questions?
I think that's great.
Okay.
No, whatever you feel like, man. No,
So,
it sounds good to me.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. So like I've never cosplayed, but I've it's always been like something I've loved to like witness, like see people do, because I think it's very fascinating. Like some of the stuff that they do is incredible. Like you, for instance, you've done some incredible stuff, and like I just love taking pictures of it and stuff like that. But correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like that a lot of people's first times cosplaying it is at conventions. Like they make that their first time they ever do it in public.
Yeah, so I think conventions are a safe space for a lot of people, because like we can all let our nerd out. We can feel safe, and because like I had that table at LexCon recently, and I can tell you how many people from high school I saw there that I would have never have pegged.
Yeah.
To like watch anime or play games or whatnot, so on and so forth. So, but I definitely think it's a safe space for like cosplayers too, in addition to like nerds in general. But
well, let's talk about some of your.
That's where I first started.
Yeah, let's talk about some of your art, by the way.
Absolutely.
So I don't really see you post much art on like your main page, but on your stories I see tons of artwork, and like I think you do an amazing job.
Yes, thank you.
and before you go too far, remember everybody, her tag for Instagram and maybe Facebook, correct me if I'm wrong, is cosplay bay.
B-A-Y.
One word, all lowercase.
Yeah. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
So me and social media, we are just like oil and water. And it's not because like it's bad, but I just don't think about it for some reason. Yeah. Like I just think that I get so into like the art realm that I completely forget that social media is a thing. And especially with me, like now, so I recently quit my job as a nurse, just to do this full time. So
Shit.
so I'm trying to get better. And obviously, like I just got back from Europe a few weeks ago. So like I'm still trying to kick my brain into like getting out of that vacation mode. So it's just, I'm trying to get better about the social media, but I obviously still work on jackets, still paint those. I'm working on a Dragon Ball, a Chainsaw Man,
Hell yeah.
and a Jujutsu Kaisen line.
Let's go.
So I'm
Justin,
gonna paint like 4 or 5 characters.
do you have any of the pictures of her jackets? I want to see those. I want to promote those.
Let me see.
I want our people to see those.
I mean, you can see them in the background of the picture I took.
So if you go to, so my art page is actually Demon Dogs OPC.
Oh, okay, I did.
And that's where I have most of the jackets. If you have to scroll down because a lot of the recent stuff is more like digital work, which is just fun stuff.
Just so you know, Jen, CJ said Jujutsu Kaisen is base. And that's how I imagine he said it. So, tell me if I'm wrong, CJ.
It is really good.
What does base mean?
I'm pretty sure I asked him this. Okay, I asked him this. And this is how you know we're older and he's younger. Okay, so he said Jujutsu Kaisen is based. It's good. Translation, it's good. It's very good. Like it is like it is 100%, fam.
Okay, here we go. Look at this. Look at this jacket.
Oh shit.
Dang.
Is it that one's I still have that one actually. It hasn't sold yet.
The All Might one hasn't?
No, I think it's because it's like a child sized. I think that's probably why.
Oh.
Maybe.
Well, this is incredible.
Yeah. John, it's right up your alley, child sized.
Here's a My Hero one. What's his name? Dobby? Is that how you say his name? Dobby?
Dobby.
Yeah.
Dobby, I think.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how to say anything.
Yeah.
I can't even speak
very nice.
correctly.
I just
Thank you.
followed your page, by the way. I didn't even realize this existed.
Perfect.
It looks great.
It's fun. Thank you so much. But yeah, so I do that, and then I also do like large scale canvas pieces. It's like I can't take the shows with me for obvious reasons. I don't think I have any of those pictures up for some reason. I am working on a Gundam wing one right now.
Oh, are you watching The Witch from Mercury, by the way?
No, not yet. I'm trying to make my way through My Dress Up Darling.
Oh.
I think is the name of the show. But I just got done with Chainsaw Man watching that episode, and I was like, no, I need something like sweet in my life. And I was done with Spy Family, so it's like, well, I have to start another one. But which one's a good one to watch?
Spy Family season 2's out though, so at least like the first couple episodes.
Ooh.
Yeah, on Crunchy. Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, and then I do digital art as well, as most people do. I think it's easy to erase, hard to get a concept of. But
yeah, it is the age of digital. You into NFTs at all? Have you done anything with that? It's
no.
Kind of the new hotness.
That's way too. It's like all too much like brain. It's like too much for my unabunga brain.
Listen, my understanding of NFTs, it's a flop. Don't do it.
Here's some of her digital art.
It's like I don't even understand any of it.
Oh yeah.
Then,
God damn! I'm turning into my mom.
I
love the Piccolo stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. The Digimon with the Starbucks. Hell yeah. Agumon.
Yeah, that's cute. CJ said NFTs are a scam.
They are.
Yeah, they are. They for sure are. It's making some people a lot of. It's making some people a lot of money right now, though, for sure. But
I
very
believe it.
very few. So let's segue into what you said. You know, we kept a couple topics for you to talk about together. One was the DC president apparently stepping, or not DC film president apparently stepping down, and we'll kind of segue from what we were talking about before. So the Black Adam just came out, and it's like I think it's the lowest rated DC movie to date, DCEU film to date.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it looked bad.
I wonder. This might be my thought on this, but I wonder if it's because The Rock. I mean, no offense to him or anything, but I just feel like he might be a little bit overdone.
He for sure is.
I just feel like I've seen him in so much lately.
Yeah,
Take a break. Get a beef or something.
So, I just think DC Films has a huge problem, just overall.
DC films, all of them have been floppy. This one, but I just have trouble believing that because Dwayne, The Rock,
Dwayne himself.
Well, every single time, hold on. My thought process in that is every time I hear, I think of this post. I don't know where I saw it, but it was pronounced Dwayne the way you pronounce Kanye. So I think of Donye, The Rock Johnson, every time I think of him, every time. And so I have to stop myself and go Dwayne. But I find that hard to believe. He's not a bad actor. I mean, he's been in a lot of funny family feature films that aren't great. Let's look at Jumanji. The story itself isn't good, but it's entertaining.
I don't think he's a bad actor. I just think he takes on bad projects because he gets paid a shitload of money.
And I'm wondering if that's why it's considered bad. I wonder if Black Adam, obviously we haven't seen it, but I'm wondering if it's the same thing as Jumanji kind of thing, where it's entertaining, but it's not in depth. At least with Marvel, you can have a oh shit moment where at the end credit or there's a little bit of snippet that's going on. But with Black Adam, I wonder if it's more of this is family fun, and it's Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, going, oh, I'm having fun, and it's not anything personal. It's not anything that's actually touching on comics. It's not anything that's actually going into the rest of the universe. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think the big problem with DC is they try to be too much like what Marvel has had success in. And while somehow Marvel has made it very successful where they ground a lot of their stories, their characters and everything, which is weird because the comics get batshit crazy and they somehow grounded that into film. DC, comics, they are more grounded at their base for the most part on a lot of their stories. And they tried to do the same thing as Marvel, but it's already been done, and they already had a good formula for it. So now everything that DC tries to do just seems like it's trying to copy Marvel, and people are burnt out on that thing. I thought of this analogy the other day in the shower, actually.
Analogies.
So Marvel movies, like the MCU, it's you're eating substance, so it's I relate everything to food. So you're eating a cheeseburger, and it's a familiar cheeseburger. It's a McDonald's cheeseburger. You like it, you know it. Every once in a while it might taste a little better, but mostly it's the same, and it's a good algorithm. You feel at home with it. So the problem DC has, it's okay, you're eating shit constantly, and sometimes there's sugar on the shit. And so you think it's really good, but you're still just eating shit.
Yeah.
You got me fucked up because you're comparing shit to McDonald's Big Macs.
Well, one is substance, and actually there's something behind it, that can get you some nutrition, and the films, you actually take something from it. The other is just DC films, they're just terrible. You're not getting anything from them. I'll give you a good example. So everyone says the Batman was good. Not everyone, but a lot of folks say they love that movie. It's so good. And I'm no, it's actually fucking horrible. You've just been eating shit this whole time, so there's like some sugar on this shit, and so you think it's good, but it's not. It's still shit.
Listen, I like it. I love it. I love the analogy. I have a question though? Do you think that Hamada stepped down? I know that they say he stepped down, or do you think he was like nudged out the door after the whole Ray Fisher scandal and then the whole Ezra Miller?
I think
thing?
probably once it was announced they were still trying to do the Flash with Ezra Miller, who is a legitimate psychopath. I think that's like, yeah, you need to get the hell out of here. I think that was because it was very close together that he announced he was going to step away, and that whenever they announced that they were still going to go forward with the Flash with Ezra Miller. So I think you're right about that.
I think it's been like something that's been leading up to him, because I think he said earlier in the year that he was going to leave eventually.
Yeah.
And I think the last straw was maybe not The Rock, but maybe it was like just prior. So maybe the Cyborg, Ray Fisher, Josh Whedon, that whole circle. But no, I also think that DC has so they do have a rap for having more of a darker comic or a darker look on a superhero or supervillain's life. So I don't disagree with Warner Brother for hiring Hamada back in 2018. I do, because he obviously had a background in horror films.
Right.
You know, The Conjuring, Annabelle, you know,
they
umpteen others. So
yeah, they really leaned into the dark side with hiring him for sure.
Mm-hmm. But I do think that that him stepping down from this will probably open like a million other doors for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's leaving this job, it's not going to be the end of him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to have other opportunities, and I would not put it past Marvel to bring him on for a couple projects just as a middle finger to DC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel is about due for their like villain stories, I think.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean, I don't know.
You know,
I hope they do something.
Ketzerin and I talked about this a bit earlier about how that, you know, like the DC villains seem to be, like in the comics at least, very interesting, and I don't think they've leaned into that very well in the DCEU. Like they did the Joker, and again, I think the Joker was okay. I hated the overall message of the Joker. I think it was a really good movie until the end, when they glorified like incel behavior, and I just was like,
hold on, are you talking about the Joker is in the new movie?
Yeah.
Or okay. Wanted to clarify.
The Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a really good movie, really well framed. Like cinematography was incredible, the acting was incredible, and then they just shat all over the movie with the ending whenever they literally glorified like terrible behavior, like incel behavior. Like it's why? Like why? I don't understand. They just can't get it right. And like the same with the Batman. I think it was a really good movie until the end, and the ending made no sense compared to the rest of the movie. It's just like, okay, well, the Riddler was doing like smart things, and then he's just like, kill everyone. I'm like, okay.
I'm gonna pause you real fast because BJ said something. He said, "Did you guys hear Warner Bros. Is bringing back Ezra Miller?"
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Oh, I missed that. I somehow missed that.
Yeah, we said that it was like right before they announced.
Can I do like Naruto like fingers and like it like?
Right before Hamada announced he was stepping down or whatever, they said they were bringing Ezra back, and we were saying that we think it's aligned. So
you can edit that out, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Oh yeah.
We do it live.
Oh.
All right, so one last thing, because we're running low on time here. Go ahead, Jen. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No. It's all you.
Oh, okay.
You go.
One last thing we wanted to talk about before we go here. We're going to end with new Pokemon information from Scarlet and Violet. So there was a new trailer and some new information that dropped a couple of days ago. Some interesting stuff. The most interesting, I'm going to bring up the post here, but the most interesting thing to me is trainers no longer, when they see you, will they automatically try to battle you. You have to go up to the trainer to interact with them to get them to battle, which I'm not a huge fan of. Like, I don't think that's a good feature. Unless they're just like littering the whole map with a bunch of trainers that you can just like battle over and over, I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah.
I agree. I think they're trying to pacify the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
I think for some reason they're going to try this take, but it's not going to go over well.
Isn't this the game that you said last episode?
Yep.
That you had to like build up, and you had to do tasks in order to challenge a trainer?
Yeah, in the gyms. So the gyms are set up a little different now, where you have to like do tasks to show you're worthy of taking on the boss, which is the gym leader. Whereas before you just battle, like, you figure out a puzzle and battle 4 trainers, and that's it. Then you battle the champion or whatever.
So why would it be a bad thing for you to have to approach the trainer to battle?
So the big thing with Pokemon games in the past was that to get to your next destination, the roadblocks in your way were either meeting Pokemon in the grass or like, little puzzles like having to use like strength or cut and stuff like that, which are HM moves to get to the next destination, or trainers that were in your way that you have to battle them to get to the next location. And some of what made some of the older Pokemon games hard was that, like, you couldn't just go back and heal at the Pokemon Center. Like, it takes a long time to get back. You had to just keep battling or have potions with you, like, so you could heal up your Pokemon and keep battling until you reach the next town. And it actually did become kind of challenging because some of the Pokemon that you encountered with the trainers were pretty hard. If you only had like a couple Pokemon still active, like, that weren't fainted. So now they kind of remove that barrier, and it just kind of makes it a lot easier, which... I mean, Pokemon games were never hard per se, but it just, like, the little challenge that had gave you was kind of nice. Jen, what do you think?
I mean, it just sounds. I'm gonna put in my non-Pokemon opinion, like, player side here.
Yes, you do.
It just sounds like I mean, you had to challenge trainers before, but now you have to do some tasks in order to challenge them, and you have to challenge them and to level up. And I mean, it doesn't sound like it's more work. It sounds like you still have to build towards challenging a trainer. So it's not necessarily like changing too much, from my opinion, that I don't play Pokemon.
Yeah, well, that's just at doing the challenges, like the tasks to be able to challenge the gym leaders. That's just at the gym areas. I guess their areas are not gyms anymore, right? Is that right?
I was under the assumption that they were gyms, but I could be very wrong.
Well, there are, but I'm saying, like, there's areas
like
you have
town?
that you have to do the tasks in order to in order to challenge the gym leader.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Jen, what do you think?
I think I'm with you on this. I don't think it's gonna go over very well. I think it's just Arceus or Arceus, however you say it, in a different font.
Yeah.
However, I did like from Arceus that obviously the trainers, they would still see you within a certain range, and they'd still like approach you instead of you approach them for a battle. Just because it kind of kept you on your toes. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it was about, like, turning that corner in like a Pokemon game in like a cave and like coming across like a battle all of a sudden kind of thing. There's like that surprise element, which I think is now taken completely out of the game itself. What little surprise there was. The one thing I am looking forward to is the auto battles, where you can just like put like a Pokemon out with you and it can just like battle that by itself kind of thing. I'm glad they didn't like take away from the EXP point thing, because apparently like in auto battles the EXP is like doesn't hold a candle to like the regular in like a battle scenario EXP gainage. I don't know if that made sense to anybody.
No, it does. For Pokemon players, it definitely does.
It made sense to somebody who doesn't play, so I got you.
Love it.
I think for anyone who's
Yeah,
played an
so-
RPG, it probably makes sense.
Love that.
Yeah.
But that's my 2 cents. But I am excited to see it, see the new Pokemon in it, the new characters, and the gym. I am very excited about this one gym leader. Her name's Iono.
I've seen her.
She's like a streamer, YouTuber type thing with like Magnemites hanging out. So I've always been a big Magnemite fan. Underrated Pokemon, I think.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Sweet. Well, which was your favorite Pokemon game out of the series so far?
It would have to be Silver,
Okay.
dare I say.
Not the
So,
remake,
it was-
not Soul Silver, but the OG Silver.
No, like the OG.
Okay.
Yep. So,
Yeah. All right.
yep.
So you've been playing a long time too, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Been playing for a while.
Yep. Did you play Sword and Shield?
I did not. I skipped that one.
Okay. I think
But
it's worth playing.
It is.
To our
Yeah.
to our viewers, what is your favorite Pokemon game? Specify. What is your favorite Pokemon game?
Well, she already said her favorite Pokemon game.
No, for the viewers.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
said to our viewers. Yeah, yeah, Jen, I know it's Silver. No, to the viewers.
Yeah. What do you mean to the viewers? I'm confused.
To the viewers, what is their favorite Pokemon game?
Oh, I see. I
Yeah,
see. We're waiting on the chat. Got it. Oh, I
Yeah.
was like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
no, keep going, guys. I'm just asking that. I want to bring
Okay.
the chat back
Yeah,
in.
yeah, for sure. I haven't played Pokemon Shield,
Well-
says Steven. So, Sword and Shield, like the story is terrible. Like, most of them are anyway. Like, there's no stories in Pokemon games, hardly. But I just think it made a lot of quality of life improvements. Like, if you're into shiny hunting, or if you're into, like, like competitive play, it really made a lot of great changes for that for those things. It made it a lot easier to get your Pokemon ready for competition, to shiny hunt, that sort of thing. And I'm a huge shiny hunter. That's like kind of my thing with Pokemon. And I do play some competitive, but like obviously I'm not like taking the time it takes to go play in a tournament. I'm a competitor at everything. So I always make my team like the best I can possibly make it. Like, so if I did want to like go into competition, I could. So I EV train, IV train, all that stuff.
Nothing
So
wrong with that.
yeah, I'm a nerd. What can I say?
Fucking nerd.
I know. All right. Well,
Nothing wrong.
we've gone later, which I expect we probably will when we have guests. But I think we should probably wrap it up here. Jen, one last time, tell everyone where they can find you, what you're working on, promote your shit. Now, go.
So my Instagram is cosplaybay. That's COSPLAYBAY. And then my art account is Demon Dogs OPC. So,
I posted both in the chat,
let's see
and
that.
on the YouTube video, I'll post it
And
as
that's
well.
on Instagram, Twitter, Lord Jesus, Twitch, Patreon. So everything. I'm trying to get into all the socials, all of them.
Good deal. Well, I am sure I will be promoting more of your stuff through Nerd Bites as well. So everyone, check out Nerd Bites, and you will see Jen's stuff too. So
True.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I am honored, always.
well,
Yeah, thanks for joining us, dude.
for sure. Thank you for coming on. It was a lot of fun. Well, next week we got our Halloween special, so make sure you turn into that. Tune into that. We'll have special guest Chris Coron on of Talk Nerdy to Me, and until next time, everyone, stay nerdy.
See you next week, guys.